Do you feel overwhelmed by overly exposed interior styles and decorations? Too many things, details, and objects can be dizzying. But in a society filled with ostentatious places, there are those who truly prefer something much simpler, or rather, the correct term would be minimalist. And today we're going to take a closer look at that and everything you need to know and understand to create a home with that style. Simple, functional. In short, less is more. Minimalism emerged as a response to pop art, something we're used to because it's still thriving today. It's the movement that prioritized the flashy over the meaningful. And it's something that's still relevant in many forms and trends, but we won't go into that. Minimalism is the answer to this saturation. Pop art is colorful, saturated, and explosive, while minimalism is simple, basic, and expansive. Why do we mention this? Because it might be what you're looking for. The internet is full of color. Your current home is full of color. It's all too much, and you should be looking for something simpler. So maybe minimalism is exactly what you're looking for because it's simple and functional, meaning the fewer things, the better, but without sacrificing style. It's like finding a balance between dynamism and pop art, a beautiful middle ground. When the idea of having simpler homes with less saturation came up, there was a little problem: what to take out and what to keep. That's when they came up with a very obvious answer. They must be objects that serve a purpose, keeping only what is necessary for life and comfort, but without losing style. Hence, the concept of functionality. Everything must have a purpose, not for the sake of art, but because it's necessary to reduce everything, to limit it to nothing more than what you need and only to that. That's why minimalism works in design, and it's important that it does, because the fewer objects, the better. It shouldn't be the absence of objects either, because that would be another movement. But then we would get into color. Minimalism not only reduces objects to a minimum, it also reduces colors. In fact, it comes a little from a work by Ad Reinhardt, as the critic Richard Volheim used it to refer to his gallery, which contains several negative images constructed in an abstract style. From here, these matte tones with dark tones mixed with white began to be associated, although it wasn't their most important element. We can also find shades of gray with a little bit of brown, but almost everything is desaturated. Avoid any bright tones or primary colors. This is because the combination of these generally brings calm, balance, and elegance, adding more strength to the style, always using a monochromatic tone. But what other colors can we find? Some combinations are quite elegant and much more refined than using black and white, or gray and white, or black and gray. Beige tones, soft blues, or aqua greens in pastel shades, believe it or not, are still minimalist. Blush pinks along with lavender for more feminine tones if you want a more pink place, or details. The style isn't limited to one color, but to a monochromatic and desaturated style that evokes calm and serenity. Let's go back to Ad Reinhardt and his approach to art, which included the use of lines and objects. This was another aspect, but to really understand why straight lines, squares, and sometimes rectangular or square shapes are used, let's rewind to the year 1984, when the world got a taste of order with the release of Tetris, a video game characterized by arranging cubes in a specific position to eliminate the rest of the blocks. These cubes consisted of straight lines. Why the example of Tetris? Because this is where you understand that order isn't found in nature. Mountains, trees, and rocks, they all have extravagant, risky, and robust shapes. So you won't find order or symmetry in nature. And what's the opposite of randomness in nature? Straight objects. But you can't make organized forms out of straight shapes. Isn't that interesting? Are you looking for something minimalist? You know it has to be simple, functional, with muted or pastel colors, and square in shape. Let's talk a little bit about the mindset of John Pawson, an architect who says, "Reduce everything to its primary point." Well, it's not just a phrase, it's the philosophy of minimalist architects. This means that an object can serve more functions than what meets the eye. Consequently, interior designers should strive to maximize every inch of space without losing its essence. All this is to ensure that people feel comfortable, relaxed, and have everything at their fingertips. But do you know what your minimalist home is missing? Good use of light and space. It's not about being simple and rustic, it's about being simple and beautiful. And believe it or not, empty spaces are key. The absence of objects, believe it or not, is necessary. An empty space directs the eye better. It directs the eye directly to the artwork and the object with minimal distraction. In a world of saturation, something to rest your eyes on helps. Light also brings clarity, contrast, and progression, a constant movement that creates different perceptions depending on the time of day. You might have a beautiful sunrise or a stunning sunset casting its warm light over objects. That's why it's common for windows to be larger. Minimalism is not about waste, nor does it create waste. It focuses primarily on the durability of its objects and on staying true to them. Therefore, quality over quantity is perfect for it. Remember, it's a response to pop art, which emphasizes disposability. So, if you're buying objects or trying to create a minimalist home, you'll have a beautiful space with objects that will last a long time. Remember, everything has to serve a purpose. Does everything have to? Well, that's a great question. Not necessarily. The important thing is that it's not something unnecessary. For example, a minimalist painting by Ad Reinhardt would add presence or meaning to your living room. Or a flower with a special shape would do the same. It's always about choosing objects that, in their minimal quantity, strengthen your entire home, making it organic and meaningful. But we haven't talked much about the best thing this brings, and that is the immense peace it brings. We live in a polarized, populist, commercial society that exploits everything it can and tries to overstimulate its audience as much as possible. This means using colors, techniques, and tricks. Colors take on a propagandistic and advertising meaning, losing their historical significance. When everything is lost, minimalism is like a new beginning. It's a place that encourages you to have peace, to have calm, and to have an escape from this current reality that consumes us so much. Besides, how beautiful it looks to walk through a simple place with fewer objects. That's why the place is pleasant, free of distractions, like going back to basics. And that's really comfortable and makes it a perfect place to live. Minimalism is beautiful for its simplicity, its visual beauty, and its style, which can be expressed in many ways, but the best is if you leave it simple, which supports a lot. Don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. See you next time.